LocalBozo.com is proud to have with us as our guest for an exclusive interview, frontman for his brand new project Newsted and former Metallica bassist Jason Newsted. Jason, thanks so much for some time today, man.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
You know, Jason, you seem to sort of assemble this band comprised of musicians with the same metal blood coursing through their veins as it does yours. Talk about how this project came to fruition and how you chose these musicians to be involved.
Okay, let's see. So, Jesus Mendez Jr. is the drummer, and Jesse Farnsworth, the guitar player that made up the trio that recorded the Metal EP for the first 4 songs that everybody is hearing. And these guys, Jesus started out as a local Metallica road crew guy back in the 90s, and then he was the drum tech on the Echo Brain tour. And then we became, good friends then. He started playing over in the Chop House with me about 10 or 11 years ago. So we've got a lot of hours under our belts together as a rhythm section. He brought in Jesse Farnsworth about 5 years ago. So as a trio, we've been playing for about 5 years and just improv slab jams in the Chop House and stuff like that, getting to know each other's musicianship, as it were. Got kind of a wild hair about recording some stuff when I went to play with Metallica at their 30th anniversary shows and called Jesse and Jesus back out, and I wrote a bunch of songs, top to bottom, all the parts, guitar, bass, drum machines, all that stuff, and gave the music to them, and they brought back their artistry and made these songs. So it's cats that have paid a lot of dues and gotten a little bit of recognition, made their own records and made their own things in different styles of music, but now they get a chance to get some real recognition. They've got the hours in, and now they're going to get the appreciation in this band. So that's where the basis of it started for the trio. And then we brought Mike Mushak in from Stained about 7 weeks ago after some auditions, and now we're 4-piece. We recorded the LP as a 4-piece, and we're going out on tour with all these shows as a 4-piece band.
Now, was it your intention to handle vocal duties all along for Newsted?
Oh, yeah. I've been singing and kind of trying to get a little bit more of a singing voice, pulling away from the Cookie Monster all the time. In the last 5 or 6 years with the projects that I've done and different people that I've jammed with, I'm trying to get a little more singing together, and that was the intention when I had my own lyrics and my own words and my own scene, and that's how it developed, and I'm very happy about it now, actually. It's a new feather in my cap and a new role to assume that makes me feel strong, man. I really am enjoying it a lot.
The 4-song Metal EP sold more than 6,000 units its first week. It charted in the Billboard Hot 100. For someone who's enjoyed the success that you have in your career, be it playing with Metallica or Ozzy, how satisfying is that for you to see that kind of initial success for this project and the kind of loyal fans that follow you?
The number one of the iTunes, I definitely thought that was cool. That's fantastic. I'm all new to this thing. I've only 6 months, or since this band started, have I really embraced any kind of technology or started my website, and for the first time, reaching out to people like that, like the past 6 months, realizing what fans are out there still or what new fans are there and everything. So that's a whole new world to me. As far as the acceptance of the fans and the comments of the fans and that it makes me feel great. It makes me feel like I did something right along the way and also continue to do something right. This project was initially meant to just be a thing that Jesse and myself had. We said, you're going to have a CD, I'm going to have one, and I'm going to have one. We're going to drive around in the truck, and we're going to jam this out, and that's how it's going to be. But we went in initial time. In 1 week, we recorded 6 or 7 songs. 4 of those ended up being on that Metal EP. Somebody heard Soldier Head. They played it for somebody else. They played it for somebody else. Like 2 weeks later, Sony, Universal, Geffen, all these people that want part of the music. Now we're 6 months in, full world tour, on the right here in front of us. All those labels I just named have been signed in different territories around the world. So it's kind of a crazy thing. It just happened, and by word of thumb and word of mouth, it became what it became. My initial approach was not anything about it being given to the masses or shared with the masses. It's something that transpired, and so now I'm chasing it, man. I'm given the opportunity again, and I'm going to chase it just like I always do with any opportunity I'm given, whether it's Ozzy or Voivod or whatever.
With a slew of tour dates beginning to pile up, what can fans expect from the songs we haven't heard released yet, and when can we expect the first Newsted album to officially be released?
They can expect more of the same or even better. It's full, it's all heavy music, not all fast, but all heavy. I'll go into this, I guess, from that question. was a really big day here yesterday. The Chop House, kind of a landmark day for us. We've done demos and stuff here for 21 years with different, like Sepultura guys and Exodus and Machine Head and all those cats through time. But this is the first time I made an album in my studio, a full worldwide release. And the record company dudes came up yesterday into my studio to listen to the music. That's the first time that's ever happened here. They came away going, holy shit. We really didn't think the EP was going to be able to be beat, but you've done it. And so I'm getting bumps just saying those words, repeating their words. So that's the first review from the dudes that are going to work it to the world and that would tell me if it was shit. They would just say, go back to the drawing board. They don't fuck around. There's a lot of money involved. So they say, it's either good enough or it's not good enough, but they said, you did it. So that's what I got going so far. I like it. I know it's heavy. I'm proud of the lyrics again. It's all uniform. I mean, it goes together. All the shit goes together. The influences are right out there on my sleeve, like always. You can hear the Motorhead, you hear the Sabbath, you hear it all, just like that. But it's for me and what they said. They felt it was like listening to, a Metallica album in the early days, and so that's what we got going so far.
Just listening to it, I had similar impressions myself. A lot of it sounds like an old school thrash Metallica sound. Was the concept behind the initial release a throwback of sorts, or is that simply where you were musically as the songs were being written?
Yeah, it's just a culmination of all those different experiences with all the different styles of players, but mostly, of course, the forte and the metal. And then that's just what came out. And regurgitate all of that. I still have quite a diverse listening practice, lots of different styles of music, lots of different languages of music, instruments that people invent themselves, and all kind of. I always try to take on different sideways shit while still staying true to my teachers of Sabbath and stuff. So that's really just what came out. I am metal first, no matter what. I like putting my foot into those other styles every once in a while, faking my way around some of that with jazz players and stuff, but metal is it for me, and that's just what comes out, and that's what came out on the new songs, too. I put together 22 songs or something since October, and it's all metal all the time.
Newsted has more than a dozen dates now lined up at club shows, including a May 21st stop locally here in Manhattan at the Highline Ballroom. Talk, if you can, about some of your favorite memories of playing in New York City.
Okay, there's a couple. I'm going to start with the very first one. So back in '86, right, I joined the band, and I think on the 9th day that I was in the band, we were flying to Japan for the first time. We had played a couple of club shows just to kind of bust off the rust, and then we flew to Japan. It was Metallica's first time in Japan, and of course my first time in Japan. My first time out of the States was on tour with Metallica in Japan. We were the fucking Beatles when we got there. None of us knew it was going to be like that. It was back entrances to hotels. It was screaming people. It was photo, crazy. Out of limousines, bouncing off the bumpers of the limousines and crawling over the cars. And, crazy, dude. I was loading my own gear with Flotsam for a gig on the 31st of October, for the last gig I played with Flotsam. On the 9th of November, I was playing in Tokyo to a sold-out crowd.
Wow.
So it was like, blip, blip, Okay, so that was my first experience. And I go to Japan, and they're all really nice and courteous, and that's what I had to taste first. The promoters, the most courteous promoters on the planet. Then we came from Japan to New York City and got off the bus and got 2 suitcases stolen in the first 2 minutes. Woo! Welcome to the world. And we were all so casual. I was anyway, man. I just been in Japan where everybody's all nice and it's honorable, and your girlfriend can walk down the street with no worries and all that kind of crazy shit. So I came back to New York City, went to L'Amour's, went to see freaking Cro-Mags and Crumbsuckers and all that stuff, man, digging it in the city with James, and him introduced me as a new bass player, man. Then we went and played the Felt Forum. It was the first gig that I played in New York was the Felt Forum. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
And I wiped out on stage. And during For Whom the Bell Tolls, but didn't miss a note. Went over on my shoulder, came back around. Fortunately, in Bell Tolls, it's just boom, boom, just big old whole notes, so it didn't really matter. But that's what I remember about my first New York experience. How's that? I wiped out on stage, bro. It felt for him.
Awesome, man. Listen, well, you guys are about to get out on the road. What can fans expect from the upcoming live Newsted shows? Will the full album be played in its entirety, or can we expect some covers or some tunes from your old bands?
I certainly want to share all the EP stuff with everybody because that's what they're going to be familiar with, so that will be within the sets. And on these shows, these first dozen or whatever that we're doing through the States to kind of get ourselves together, we are the headliners, so I'm doing, hour and 5 or an hour and 10. I have a repertoire of a bunch of other things I could delve into, but I'm going to try to keep it to the Newsted Band as much as possible. There's a handful of Metallica things that I feel I have the right to share with people. That wouldn't be weird. I don't want to do like riding on laurels and coattails and all that bullshit. That's not what I do. I never have, and I don't plan on starting now. So, there's 2 people that ever sang in Metallica in 32 years, and James is one of them, and I'm the other one. And so the things that I did sing, and the people that know about my vocal in Metallica was Creeping Death and Seek and Destroy and Whiplash, old school stuff. Very good chance that I'll be throwing some of that in just to make sure everybody knows what's up in between the new Newsted stuff. And then as far as any of the other Metallica music that's not the old school things, I got the writing credit for Blackened and Wild Things and Misery. So if I delve into that, a little intro here, a little bass intro there, or 20 minutes or 20 seconds of that, or 3 minutes of Whiplash, well, that's kind of what I plan on doing as far as any covers. I always have a handful of Motorhead in my a pocket full of Motorhead anyway, I want to say, to bring that out whenever I want to. I've been playing and singing Motorhead since Flotsam days, and so just reach for that when we need it. We've also chosen a couple other pieces of cover songs. Jesse Farnsworth is quite a good singer. He sings in his own band, and so we got a couple things that he might sing. So I can. I'm playing some guitar and some bass in the set, mostly bass, but some guitar too. So that's kind of what we can expect. It's going to be positive vibes. I want to make sure everybody knows how happy I am to be there with them and to see them and everything. Not going to be too worried about being folk and metal and all that thing because we already are. Just want to bring it out positive and continue to spread that positive vibe that I always have tried to do.
Looking back now at your time with Metallica, you've sort of become an inspiration for artistic integrity in that you broke away from something so successful because, essentially your creativity was being stifled. Are you now reveling in the sort of freedom you were hoping to find in leaving the band?
Oh, yeah, man. And there's so many factors to that whole thing. But, yeah, I'm really enjoying myself now for sure. Being the man is a good thing. Everybody likes a little applause and a little recognition and things like that. And this time, I've worked a long time to get to this place. And so I'm really having a good time with it, man. Get to sing my own stuff my own way and play it the way I want to, not necessarily the same every time. I like that a lot. So I'm feeling powerful about it. And the thing with Metallica, it wasn't so much that I was stifled as much as I wasn't ready to do it either. My songwriting capabilities to be up to Metallica snuff as far as completing whole songs, top to bottom, other than just giving a riffs for Blackened or whatever, these things through time. I put all kinds of, I threw dozens of riffs at those guys through all the years. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to get riffs in there. But as far as development of songwriting and everything, it wasn't there yet. I'm ready to admit that. There's no problem with that at all. I understand that. So it wasn't all the thing about having 2 very controlling egos in the band that were, leading our band. It was about me being able to come up with songs that were up to snuff, that were as good as James or whatever. So there's no hard feelings there about any of that stuff.
All right, now last question. Considering you've jumped up on stage with them a handful of times since then, do you miss being a part of the big Metallica machine, and how has your relationship with the band changed over the past couple of years?
Sometimes, but most of the time not. I feel that I accomplished a lot in 15 years. I played almost 50 countries with those guys. I certainly was able to make smart investments through time to be able to pay for my nephew's college and take care of my mom and get her a house and, the things that I always wanted to do, like that anybody would do if they were in that position, I would hope. And so I'm very proud of that thing. I'm business partners with Metallica for the rest of time. We have collective investments and all these stuff, so that's forever. We're better friends than we've ever been as far as that goes. Everybody's grown up and knows how to respect each other and each other's families and things. It's a good place to be in right now. I'm good where I am. They're good where they are. The only times it really stings a little bit is it's always about the quest. It really comes down to the quest. I want to play as many places as I can play while I'm still able to play. And they went to some places that I haven't been without me. Like South Africa United Arab Emirates, India, and a couple. I never got to play those places before I got out. They weren't really open to the westernized rock and roll music when I was still with them. And so now I have my own quest with my own band to get to those places. That's the only time that I really miss Metallica is going to those really special places when they're the ones that are breaking the ground. That was something I always took a lot of pride in, is being part of the band when we were the first ones to take our style of music to that region of the world. That was always, whatever region it may have been, that was always such a powerful, victorious feeling. And so that kind of thing I miss. But the rest of it, and the hubbub and the demand and the sacrifice and being away from family and all that kind of thing, I do not miss that part.
Jason, anything else you'd like to leave for the readers of localbozo.com?
Just anybody that's interested in the old school metal and wants to come out and share it with us, I'd really love to see them. That's all. That's really what it's about. I'm happy to be doing it again, and I hope that anybody that's down with the old school metal or even interested, especially people that are skeptical, please come and check it out so we can set you straight.
Fans Metal, the 4-track EP from metal band Newsted, is available now wherever you buy your rock music, with a full-length debut album to follow in short order. You can catch the band live when they come through New York City on May 21st at the Highline Ballroom, and tickets are available now. And of course, we've been speaking with legendary bass player Jason Newsted. We're so excited to see you guys on the 21st here in New York. All the best of luck with the new album.
Appreciate it very much for your help, and please direct anybody and everybody that's interested to newstedheavymetal.com for all the information, new merch stuff, old archival recordings, all that stuff. So I appreciate your help today, man. We'll see you out there.